So many people ask me, where is the best city to live in Latin America? But that's like asking, what is the best flavor of ice cream, right? It really depends on your taste. Now, I've lived in 12 different cities across Latin America, and today I want to share 5 underrated places that I think are hidden gems that most people don't talk about, especially when you compare them to larger cities that most people do mention, such as Mexico City, or Medellin, Colombia, or Bogota, or Buenos Aires, Argentina, or Sao Paulo, and the list goes on. But if you're looking for lifestyle freedom, low cost of living, quality dating options, and a higher quality of life, well, I have a specific criteria for that and what I look for. These are cities where you stand out more as a foreigner, you feel more welcome, and you spend less money overall without sacrificing the comfort. By the way, if you're thinking about moving to Latin America and you want some help figuring out your next steps, I offer a free 15-minute call to see if I can help. Link is in the description. Let's get into the video. So before I go into the best cities to live in Latin America, let me go into my criteria with you first. So this is what I personally look for in a city. This is my so-called flavor of ice cream. And let me just add, there is no such thing as a perfect city. All right, this is part of the reason why I don't live in just one city all year round. I live in one city that I'm in most of the year, and then another city I'm in a few months out of the year, and then in between I visit other cities to get really the full benefit, all the flavors of ice cream, let's just say, all right? So here's my criteria in no particular order. By the way, bear with me, I lost a little bit of my voice the other day. So population size between 1 to 4 million, really so that it's not too small of a city. I have plenty of optionality, things to do for my type of lifestyle. And it's also not too big where it's super touristy and you're inviting a lot of short-term travelers and that sort of thing. So the sweet spot for me is between 1 to 4 million. I prefer a non-touristy vibe. I also prefer warm spring-like weather all year round, where basically I can wear a t-shirt and jeans, right? I can wear whatever I want. I can wear a long sleeve, t-shirts, jeans, whatever I want to wear. It's pretty much like spring-like weather all year round is what I like. I like to be in a city where I'm attracted to the women because I am a single guy, right? Over 30. So if you are too, I'm assuming that dating is probably important to you as a heterosexual male. So I want good dating dynamics. I also want low cost of living, right? I want to be able to live a high quality of life for really as affordable as I can get it, to be honest with you. Who doesn't, right? So just with $2,500 a month, the cities that I'm going to mention, you can either live like a king or at least pretty well in those cities for $2,500 a month. Some you could get by with $1,500, some you can get by with $1,000. I did another video on best cities to live for under $1,000. Be sure to check that one out. Another factor is food, right? Food is something that we eat every day. So if you enjoy the local cuisine, if you enjoy the food culture in that city, then you are going to enjoy it more. Your quality of life is going to go up. I also look for a favorable tax setup because if you're staying in a city for more than 6 months out of the year, not every country is favorable to your taxes. And taxes does play a role, of course, to your financial life, which means if you're not keeping enough of your money, you're not able to save as much, invest as much, spend as much, right? So I want to keep as much of my money as possible. Some countries are more favorable than others. I also want a country, this is very important, that's welcome and friendly to foreigners, right? Not every country is going to be as welcoming to you as someone who is a foreigner in their country. So I want to be in places where I feel good and I feel welcomed and, I can make friends easily in that country. And then lastly, obviously we need a place that's safe and that has decent infrastructure is what I look for. So the first city on my list is Asuncion, Paraguay, okay? I lived in Asuncion for 8 months out of the year. I'm gonna return again later this year. This is one of the best kept secrets in Latin America, all right? Population is just right. It's about 2 million. It's not too small. It's not too big. You got enough scale. It's not overwhelming. There's hardly any tourist scene at all. You don't get short-term travelers coming here. This is more for serious people. This is gonna give you an edge socially and also romantically, right? People who are living here, like in the building that I was in, mostly extranjeros or foreigners, but they were all people that were living there for either several months or several years, right? And when I say extranjero foreigner, it's not just US, Canada. You also had a lot of Argentinians, you had some Brazilians, you had some professional athletes, right? So it's a place where you don't get people that are coming and going. They're actually living there, which helps with the ability to create a community as well. It's also very safe. It has a very good cost of living. You could live like a king here off $2,500 a month. And live very well, super high quality of life. Very tax friendly as well. It's what's called a territorial tax country, meaning if you earn if you earn dollars outside the country, if you're a remote worker or you have a remote business, you don't pay any taxes in the country, which is phenomenal. And they're also very welcoming to foreigners. Paraguayan people are one of the most welcoming, friendly people that you'll meet. So this is a huge plus there too. I also mentioned it is a great place to have a community of long-term expats who are serious about building a life there and not just coming and going. So good place to have a community, good place to date. The women there are very attractive in my opinion as well, and really good cost of living. The weather is good enough for me. It's not perfect, it's not ideal, but the weather is good enough. We'll just say it that way. Now, what are the drawbacks? The only drawbacks I see is that there's not much to do inside the country. I remember speaking to a lady friend and we were looking for things to do. And I'm like, hey, is there like an amusement park or anything like that around here? There is not a single amusement park, from to my knowledge, to her knowledge, in the entire country. Okay, not just the city, but in the entire country. So take that with a grain of salt. But let me actually come back to this, because the cool thing about Asuncion is you are very close to a city like Buenos Aires, right? Just a short direct flight. You're in a major city where you have all the fun that you need, all the optionality that you need as well, all right? The food scene has amazing steaks, right? I basically eat steaks, meats. I eat very well here for little cost in Asuncion. So it's great if you love steaks. The local food, in my opinion, that wasn't my favorite. It's very corn-based. Like you have the sopa Paraguay, which is okay. But basically, if you love steaks, you'll love it here. So I think for the peace, the safety, the stableness of the country, the ease of residency, right? The tax advantages, the dating options, the community, for all those reasons, Asuncion for me is top tier. The second city on my list is Bucaramanga, Colombia. Now, Colombia is a country I've lived in for over a year. I've been to several different cities in Colombia, including Medellin, Cali, some other ones like Santa Marta. So this is where I'm currently living now, and I've grown to enjoy it. All right, population size is about 1 million when it comes to the metro area. So checks that box in terms of minimum population size that I look for. Which is great for dating, for also safety reasons. This is probably the safest city I've been to in Colombia. All right, and I think most people that if you were to talk to people around here, they'll agree with you. Like the department here is called Santander. Santander is one of the most beautiful places to live. It has amazing nature, amazing waterfalls, amazing parks. Right, it's called the city of parks for a reason. And it's extremely livable, all right? If you live in the good parts of Bucaramanga, it's also very walkable. If you live in the Cabecera area, you have plenty of things to do, plenty of things to go, very walkable, in my opinion, very safe. You also have Florida Blanca, which is it's also very safe, very walkable, one of the most exclusive areas of the entire region, of the entire metro area. And you also have very few tourists, right? You get some students here because you do have a lot of universities here and a lot of really good hospitals, actually. So people come here to study medicine or just they have pretty decent education here in general when it comes to universities. I think prices here are really good. This is a really good cost of living city as well. Very comparable to Asuncion. I call this the Asuncion of Colombia, okay? Because of the size, right? Mid-range city, the safety, the you don't get as many tourists here. So I like that. It's a really chill and relaxed city, in my opinion, and really good prices, as I mentioned. Now, the weather here is fantastic, okay? You get spring-like weather all year round, basically t-shirt weather all year round. There's no seasons, you don't get cold at night. It's perfect. You can wear whatever you want at night. It's awesome, my opinion. T-shirts and jeans every day. That's kind of my style of weather. I can wear whatever I want, basically. It does rain a little bit, but it's not bad like Medellin or Antioquia, where if you're there certain months out of the year, like October or November, you're going to get rained on. It's going to rain a lot during those months, all right? Not like here. It does rain some, right? We're in Colombia, but not a lot like other cities or other departments. I mentioned the cost of living is great. The rent's extremely affordable. I've done another video on what I pay in rent here. It's less than $700 a month on average for the apartments that I've rented out, which are pretty good apartments in good neighborhoods. I mentioned that the neighborhoods are very walkable, and it's one of the safest cities in Colombia. And of course, when it comes to dating, I didn't add this in the notes, but the women here are beautiful. We are in Colombia. I think Colombian women are probably top tier in terms of beautiful women if you're a single guy looking to date. Now, what are the cons here? Colombian traditional food is, most people don't say doesn't have much flavor. But you do have a lot of good restaurants here. Okay, a lot of good Italian food, a lot of some pretty decent international cuisine. So I think if I were to live here for a long period of time, I would not get bored with the food. I could live a really good life here and enjoy the food scene for sure in Bucaramanga, more so than other cities in Colombia. Now, tax wise is not ideal. Colombia is a country where if you stay for more than 6 months, if you do everything legally, you will pay double taxation here. So you're not saving a lot of money when it comes to that. While it's safe, you also want to stay aware, right? Colombia is a more dangerous country, in my opinion, than others. And to be honest, there have been some moments here where I saw guys fighting with knives outside of a shopping mall, right? So I never saw that in Paraguay or Asuncion. I probably won't see that. But in Colombia, you just never know what can happen, right? Now, do I feel safe here? I feel very safe here, right? You just have to be more aware and just keep your guard up maybe a little more than you would in a place like Paraguay. But keep in mind, I've been in Colombia for over a year. I've never had anything bad happen to me, but you just might see situations like that occur every now and then. Third city on my list is Cali, Colombia. Now, Cali is a place that I lived in for 6 months. And this was my favorite city in Colombia until I came to Bucaramanga, which is where I'm at now. All right, Cali is a little rougher in terms of safety, which we'll get into. It is a little hotter too. So if you're someone who doesn't like summer weather, you might not like Cali. If you do like summer-like weather, you will like Cali. The weather didn't bother me that much. I do have a higher tolerance for heat, so I like summer-like weather. So if you like 80s all year round, basically, you will love Cali. Cali has energy, right? This is a dance culture. They call it the salsa capital of the world, right? Also, you can add in Cuba, Puerto Rico in there. But this is a place where it has a lot of nightlife, a lot of places to go dancing in, a lot of clubs, some of the best clubs in the world. I think Pergola, which I went to a few times, is one of the most popular clubs in Latin America. And this is a bigger city. It's about 2 million, right? But it actually feels bigger than Asuncion, to be honest with you. Because Asuncion, you're not going to spend much time outside of the newer Asuncion, in my opinion. Sure, you can go to like Centro. There's a lot of places you can go to there. Sure, there's places, local places. You can go to like San Lorenzo and like, some tier 2, tier 3 cities. But Cali has its parts, man. It feels like a bigger city. You have Granada, which is where I lived. You have El Peñón, which is a smaller area, but still plenty of restaurants there. You have San Antonio, which is more like the touristy area, but a lot of good restaurants there, things to do, nightlife, stuff like that. You also have the southern part of Cali, which is pretty big, right? And a lot of tourists or a lot of extranjeros or foreigners don't go to the southern part, but there are some good spots in the southern parts too. So Cali just feels like a bigger city to me. The women here, I think, are very attractive in Cali. You have a lot more diversity here too than you would in a place like Bucaramanga. Now, the women in Bucaramanga, I think, are extremely attractive as well. But Cali, you get more of you have more diversity, right? It's not just lighter skinned women. You also get darker skinned women. You get Afro Latino culture. You get probably more curves here than any other city. They call it Cali curves for a reason. So the dating here is awesome if you're a single guy. All right. Like I mentioned, the culture is vibrant. It's dance heavy. It's a lot of nightlife. It's also very affordable, in my opinion. When I was there, I lived in a really nice apartment for, I think, just it was $1,000 a month on Airbnb, so I could get that cheaper off Airbnb. A little more expensive than Bucaramanga, in my opinion, but still very good cost of living. You can live very well here for like $2,000 a month for sure. So what are the cons of Cali? Well, the big one, I think, is that it's not as safe as Bucaramanga. And I put here the purge. So what do I mean by the purge? So I remember dating a girl in Cali, Colombia, and I noticed that whenever we would go out, we'd always have to take Ubers to the place, and we would never walk outside of my zone to get to another zone, all right? And after a certain time when it gets dark out, you'll notice that there's no one walking the streets. It's like everyone is inside somewhere. Now, it depends on the street, right? They have something called Calle de Sabor where everyone's outside and dancing, right? If it's that's different. But if you're like in a certain zone that's really walkable during the day, at night, there's no one there. I call it the purge. Everyone's inside because they don't want to get robbed or something like that. It's a joke. But there is some truth to the safety of Cali. I think Cali is one of the more, it is known for being more dangerous. Nothing happened to me in Cali. I was there for 6 months. I had an awesome time. I enjoyed it. Like I said, it's my favorite city outside of Bucaramanga. I could live in Cali for a few months out of the year, no problem. But if I were to compare safetiness, Bucaramanga is safer in my opinion. Like I said, the heat is a consistent 80 degrees, so you may or may not like that. And the city is getting more touristy, in my opinion. I think more and more people are, Medellin is pretty much like the tourist hub of Latin America, right? Everyone goes to Medellin. So once people get sick of the tourist trap, they probably head to Cali, right? Or Pereira. So just keep that in mind. I think this is going to get more touristy as the years go by. Also, not great for taxes because it's Colombia. As I mentioned, if you live there for more than 6 months, you will pay double taxation. But if you want flavor, if you want movement, if you want connection, if you want a great dating life, if you want good cost of living, Cali also delivers in this aspect. Next city is Lima, Peru. So Lima is also a city I spent a few months in. And the big thing that stands about at Lima is it's a much bigger city, right? So if food matters to you, if food is big on your list, Lima is in a league of its own. I think Lima is the best country, definitely in Latin America when it comes to cuisine. All right, you eat very well here. I eat extremely well here for very affordable too. I could get a delicious lomo saltado for like $4 or $5, right? I can literally eat that every day and be happy. The ceviche, the pulpo, which is octopus, really good seafood here. You get everything here that's really, really good. You get world-class chefs, world-class restaurants. You can spend as much as you want in Lima. You can spend as little as you want in Lima. You get a lot of variety here. So the cuisine is world-class, but like I said, it's still super affordable if you want it. There's also a great mix of nationalities here. So it has a really good dating scene. I've heard people say Lima or Peru has unattractive women. I didn't find that to be true. I think the women there are actually very intelligent. I think they're also very spiritual. And I saw a lot of women that were attractive too. But if Peruvian women aren't your type of women, then the good thing is there is a lot of diversity in Lima. Okay, you get Colombian women, you get Cuban women. I actually dated a Cuban woman while I was there. You get women from anywhere, all over South America, right? Even Europe. There's a lot of diversity in this city. So whatever you like, you'll have. So I found that the dating scene was actually pretty good. And especially if you're a tall European or a North American Caucasian guy, you will do very well in Lima. I have a friend who is from Germany, and literally we would just walk down Kennedy Park. He would get stares left and right. He would get phone numbers, no problem, just for walking and just for standing out that way. So if you're that type of guy, you will like Lima. Lima is also a coastal city, so it has the ocean. Not known for its beaches. There are some places outside of Lima that are known for its beaches, but but just the fact that it has the ocean, I love. I love the ocean, right? I grew up in Boston, so I love being near the ocean. Gives me peace, gives me tranquility, whatever you want to call it. I love being near the ocean. There's also surfing. It's a great surf scene, right? The waves are perfect for a beginner surfer like myself. So I went surfing as well. It was a really great time. A lot of things to do in Lima. You got a lot of excursions outside the city. You have vibrant art scene. You will never get bored in Lima, Peru. All right. Lima has a ton to do. It's a big city with a lot of people. I think there's over 11 million people in Lima. So that's what I think is a con to live here. To visit here is amazing. All right. I'm probably going to visit Lima maybe every year, maybe every other year. I don't know. But I can definitely spend a few months in Lima and be very happy. Okay. I think the best months to be in Lima are between December and April because that's when the weather is just right. It's perfect, especially if you like surfing. If you like being a t-shirt and jeans weather, that's the best time of year to be in Lima. It does get colder outside those months. Now, Lima is also one of the most walkable and one of the most bike-friendly cities that I've experienced in Latin America. I think I give it number one, perhaps. It's up there with like Ciudad de Mexico. Also has really good infrastructure when it comes to that. But Lima, man, Lima felt very safe. It felt family-friendly, right? You see people with their families and children out and about. So it's a great, safe, walkable, bike-friendly place if you're someone who likes to be outside. I think Lima is top tier when it comes to infrastructure for sure in Latin America. Now, what are the drawbacks of Lima? So I've already mentioned Lima is very big, okay? Lima is one of the mega cities in Latin America with over 11 million people in it. So you won't stand out as much, right, as a foreigner, right? There's so many foreigners, you just don't stand out as much. There's a lot of people that are just visiting, right? So you have a lot of short-term travelers that do come here that are here for just the weekends or for weeks at a time, and then they just bounce. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But basically, like I'm saying, if I want to live in a city, I'd rather not live in that type of tourist type city, okay? The weather I mentioned is ideal for maybe 4 or 5 months out of the year. Outside of those months, you get a lot of gray skies. I had a great time in Lima until about May. Once May hit, it started getting cloudy, it started getting colder, it started feeling like a different vibe, to be honest with you. So that's when I left around May. I'd recommend spending, like I said, December to April are perfect for Lima. But if you like, some people like that weather. Some people like colder. Some people like gray skies, gloomy. Great. Lima's going to be perfect for you. So outside of these drawbacks, I also think the cost of living in Lima is great. It's fantastic. You can live very well here for $2,500, for $2,000 a month, maybe even less. All right. So it's a really good cost of living city. I think I mentioned in another video, I might put Lima up there with the best value that you can get in a city in Latin America for all the optionality, for the food, for the restaurants, for the infrastructure, for the walkability, having the ocean, surfing, bike friendly, safety. Lima can give you some of the best value, I think, in Latin America if you are okay living in a major big city. And the fifth and final city that I'm going to add to this list is Guadalajara, Mexico. All right. Now, all the other cities I mentioned were in South America. So I wanted to include one in either Central or Mexico because I spent some time in Guatemala. I spent some time in Mexico, several different cities in Mexico. And out of those regions, I put Guadalajara, Mexico as the best city that I would live in my opinion. All right. Now, Guadalajara, hands down, has the most beautiful women. If you're a single guy and dating is important to you, you want to be in Guadalajara. Now, since you're in Mexico, Guadalajara has great food. I love Mexican food. I love their cuisine. I love their local food. So for food, it's a huge plus. Guadalajara has really good infrastructure too. I think it's very walkable if you're in certain good zones. If you're in Colonia Americana, for example, which is where I stayed, you'll have really good walkability. You have really good infrastructure. It's a bikeable city as well, which I think is really cool. And it's a good size city. I think it's about 4 or 5 million people. So it's not a major city. It fits the criteria is what I'm trying to say. Like I said, it's very walkable, very bike friendly, fantastic weather. Weather is about, I'd say 70s, maybe high 70s, pretty much all year round. The weather was perfect to be in t-shirt and jeans weather. So you can't say enough good things about the weather, about the quality of life you can live in Guadalajara. It is big enough. Like I said, it's a 5 million population. It's big enough to have everything, but it's still small enough to not feel like you're lost or just another gringo or losing your edge as a foreigner. Right? Now here are the cons to Guadalajara. It's not the cheapest city. Okay, I think for $2,500 a month, you'll need more money. If you want to live like a king in Guadalajara, you might need to spend probably $3,500 to $4,000. I'm just being 100% honest. But you don't need to live like a king either. You can live a really good life for just $2,000 or $2,500, but you're not getting the same type of value that you would in South America. I think the apartment I was in, which I'll play some B-roll, I think it was like $1,500 a month. So you're spending a lot more for apartments. You're spending more for food. You're spending more for just everything really in Mexico than you would in places in South America. Yeah, I even put here to live like a king here, you'll spend more than you would in places like Paraguay, Colombia, or Peru for sure. And culturally, the women are also more Miss Independent, right? So it reminded me a lot about like the States. And by the way, I love American women as well. I'm not here to bash American women, but there is more of a independent vibe, career focused vibe, right? Than traditional women, traditional more feminine women that you'll get in more South American countries. So take your pick, whatever you like. But the women here are more independent. I remember dating more like financiers, women in the finance industry, doctors, nurses, right? That sort of thing, which is great. But just keep in mind that the women are going to be less traditional, more career driven. So take your pick as far as what you like. A positive is that a lot of the women do understand and speak English here. So if you like Latino women, but you definitely need your women to speak English because you have no plans on learning Spanish, which I don't agree with. If you're in Latin America, you should probably learn some basic Spanish, but you'll find a high quality woman in Guadalajara who speaks English more so than you would in Colombia or Paraguay. I'd say if I would give a percentage, I'd say less than 10% of women speak English in places like Bucaramanga or even Asuncion. And you're probably looking at more than 20% speak English in a place like Guadalajara. So if you're a masculine guy looking for ultra feminine energy, right, more traditional vibes, this might not be your favorite type of culture to date in. But for everything else, I think it's a great city. If you're okay spending a little more money, right, to live like a king here or to live very well here, and you're okay with everything else, then Guadalajara could be a great option for you. So final thoughts. These 5 cities all offer something different and unique, but here's what they all have in common. They're all large enough to have optionality, things to do, dating, having a higher quality of life, but they're also small enough to have that sense of community, sense of edge, sense of connection, not being seen as just another gringo. You stand out more in these cities. And they're also affordable enough to where you'll live very well here without being rich. Okay, just $2,500 a month. I give that as the sweet spot. You'll either live like a king in some cities or you'll live very well in other cities. All right, so make that the magic number if you're someone who's still looking to build remote income. And let me know what your favorite cities are. I want to get your opinion as well. Again, this is my criteria, so I want to see what your criteria is. Let me know in the comments. Now, I still have more cities to check out before I kind of finalize my final list in Latin America. I want to visit places in Brazil. I want to go to places in Bolivia that I think have really good high quality of life potential as well. But so far, these are my top 5. Let me know what your top 5 are. And if you're serious about building a high quality of life in Latin America and you want some help in making it happen, then book a free 15-minute call with me below where I'll learn more about your goals and see if I can help point you in the right direction. Or if you just want more videos like this, then check out this one right here, and we'll see you on the next one.